Bonjour, travelers! Ever dreamed of strolling through the City of Lights, sipping coffee in a cozy Parisian cafe, or getting lost in the art at the Louvre? Well, today we'll be taking a look at the best of France, where history, culture, and charm come together in the most magical way. We'll be exploring iconic landmarks, hidden gems, and everything in between. But stick around until the end, because I've got a special spot in Paris that most tourists miss, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. First stop, Paris, the heart of France and a city that truly has it all. But before we get into the must-see landmarks, let's address the first question that probably popped into your mind. Is Paris really as romantic and magical as people say? The answer is a resounding yes. From the charming cobblestone streets of Montmartre to the breathtaking views from the Seine, Paris exudes romance at every turn. It's not just the grand gestures, like dining at a Michelin star restaurant, but also the little moments, like sipping coffee at a sidewalk cafe or strolling through a hidden garden. And speaking of romance, there's no better symbol of Paris's magic than the Eiffel Tower. How can you visit Paris and not see this beauty? Built in 1889 as the entrance arch for the World's Fair, the Eiffel Tower wasn't always the beloved symbol of Paris it is today. In fact, many Parisians hated it when it was first constructed, but today it stands as a testament to human ingenuity and a must-see for anyone visiting the city. But what is the best time to visit? Early morning or late evening are your best bets to avoid the crowds and get that perfect photo. Here's a fun fact. Did you know the Eiffel Tower is repainted every 7 years to keep it looking fresh? And if you're wondering, is it worth going to the top? The answer is absolutely yes. The view from the summit is totally breathtaking, offering a 360-degree panorama of Paris. But be prepared for some lines. This is, after all, the most visited paid monument in the world. Now, if heights aren't your thing, you can still enjoy the Eiffel Tower from the ground, especially at night when it's beautifully illuminated. Picture this. You're sitting at a cafe with a glass of wine, watching the tower sparkle on the hour. Pure magic. Next up, we have the Louvre Museum, home to some of the world's most famous artworks. But before we delve into its treasures, here's a question that might be on your mind. Is the Louvre really as overwhelming as people say? The truth is, yes, it can be. With over 380,000 objects, you could spend weeks here and still not see everything. But don't worry, we've got you covered with the must-see highlights. The Louvre is massive, so it's best to plan your visit. Start with the big hitters, the Mona Lisa, the Venus de Milo, and the Winged Victory of Samothrace. But here's a tip, don't just focus on the famous pieces. The Louvre's lesser-known galleries are equally fascinating and much less crowded. Whether it's the ancient Egyptian artifacts or the stunning Islamic art, there's something here for every art lover. Ah, the Mona Lisa, the star of the Louvre. You might be wondering, is it really that impressive in person? Well, the painting itself is smaller than most people expect, but there's an undeniable aura around it. The mystery of her smile has captivated millions, and seeing it up close is definitely a bucket list moment. Now, let's make our way to another Parisian icon that has captivated visitors for centuries, the magnificent Notre Dame Cathedral. This Gothic masterpiece isn't just a building, it's a storyteller, a witness to the grand narrative of French history, standing tall through wars, revolutions, and most recently, a devastating fire. Its architecture is nothing short of breathtaking, from the intricate carvings that seem to bring the stone to life, to the radiant stained glass windows that have bathed the interior in a kaleidoscope of colors for over 800 years. And let's not forget those legendary gargoyles. Perched high above, they've been keeping watch over Paris since the Middle Ages, adding to the cathedral's mysterious allure. It's almost as if they have secrets of the city hidden in their stony expressions. For those with a taste for history, the crypt offers a fascinating glimpse into the ancient foundations of the cathedral and the layers of Parisian history beneath your feet. But there's more. From here, you get some of the best views of the Seine River, especially at sunrise or sunset when the city glows with a golden hue. Standing here, with the river flowing gently by and the cathedral towering above, you truly feel the heartbeat of Paris. It's an experience that's not just seen, but felt. Something that stays with you long after your visit. From the grandeur of Notre Dame, we move to the bohemian charm of Montmartre. This neighborhood has a vibe all its own, once home to legendary artists like Picasso, Van Gogh, and Toulouse-Lautrec. You might be wondering, what's so special about Montmartre? Well, aside from its artistic history, Montmartre is where you'll find the stunning Basilica of the Sacré-Cœur, perched high on a hill with sweeping views of the city. Take a leisurely stroll through the cobblestone streets, and you'll discover art studios, charming cafes, and perhaps even get your portrait drawn by a local artist. Montmartre Montmartre feels like a village within the city, offering a glimpse into Paris's creative soul. Next up, we have the Palace of Versailles, just a short train ride from Paris, but a world away in terms of opulence. This isn't just a palace, it's a symbol of absolute monarchy, and every inch of it screams luxury. Versailles is enormous, with over 700 rooms and 2,000 acres of gardens. But here's a tip, don't try to see it all in one day. Focus on the highlights, like the Hall of Mirrors, where the Treaty of Versailles was signed, and Marie Antoinette's estate, which gives you a glimpse into the Queen's private life. The gardens of Versailles are a masterpiece in their own right, with intricate fountains, manicured lawns, and hidden groves. It's easy to spend hours here, just soaking in the beauty and grandeur. And here's a question for you. Can you visit Versailles without a guided tour? Absolutely. But a guided tour can add a lot of context and stories that bring the history to life. After a day of exploring, there's nothing quite like unwinding by the Seine River. The question is, what's the best way to experience the Seine? Well, you're in for a treat because a Seine River cruise is one of the most charming ways to see Paris. You'll glide past iconic landmarks like the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and Notre Dame, all while soaking in the romantic atmosphere that Paris is famous for. Daytime cruises offer clear views of the architecture, but if you ask me, there's something magical about a night cruise. The city lights reflecting off the water, the illuminated bridges, and the sight of the Eiffel Tower sparkling in the distance. It's an experience you'll never forget. Plus, many cruises offer dinner options, turning it into a truly unforgettable evening. Of course, no trip to France would be complete without indulging in some of the world's best pastries. Speaking of which, what's the best pastry to try in Paris? That's a tough one. But if I had to choose, I'd say the croissant. But not just any croissant. You want to find a bakery that's been perfecting their craft for generations. Whether it's a buttery croissant, a delicate macaron, or a rich éclair, Parisian pastries are in a league of their own. And if you're in Montmartre, be sure to stop by some of the local boulangeries. They're known for their artisanal breads and pastries, made fresh daily. Another quintessential Parisian experience is visiting a local street market. You might wonder, what's the best way to experience local culture in Paris? Markets are the answer. Here you can find everything from fresh produce and cheeses to vintage books and antiques. It's a great way to immerse yourself in the everyday life of Parisians. One of the most famous markets is the Marché aux Puces, the largest flea market in the world. If you're hunting for unique souvenirs or just want to soak in the vibrant atmosphere, this is the place to be. And if you're a foodie, the Rue Mouffetard Market is a must-visit with its abundance of fresh fruits, vegetables, and gourmet treats. Now, we've covered some incredible sights and experiences, but Paris is a city that always has more to offer. For example, what are some hidden gems in Paris that most tourists miss? Besides for a special one I'm keeping for last, one of my favorites is the Montmartre Vineyards. Tucked away in this historic neighborhood, it's one of the last remaining vineyards in Paris. It's a peaceful spot that offers a glimpse into the city's past when Montmartre was covered in vineyards. These vineyards are a reminder of Montmartre's rural roots, long before it became a hub for artists. If you visit in October, you might even catch the annual Wine Harvest Festival, a lively event that celebrates Montmartre's winemaking history. As we continue our Paris adventure, let's not forget the Opera Garnier, one of the most stunning buildings in the city. You might ask, is the Opera Garnier worth visiting if you're not into opera? Absolutely. The architecture alone is worth the visit, with its grand staircase, gilded interiors, and magnificent chandelier. Even if you're not catching a performance, a guided tour of the Opera Garnier is a great way to explore its rich history and breathtaking design. Fun fact, this is the opera house that inspired the Phantom of the Opera, and as you walk through its halls, you might just feel a hint of the mysterious atmosphere that inspired the legend. Before we wrap up our journey, let's take a stroll through one of Paris's most fascinating neighborhoods, Le Marais. You might be wondering, what's so special about Le Marais? Well, it's a district where history meets modernity. It's home to some of the oldest buildings in Paris, dating back to the medieval period, alongside trendy boutiques, art galleries, and a vibrant LGBTQ+ scene. Le Marais is where you can explore the rich history of Paris while enjoying its contemporary culture. The Place des Vosges, for example, is the oldest planned square in Paris and is a perfect spot to relax with a book or a coffee. And just around the corner, you can visit the Musée Carnavalet, dedicated to the history of Paris, which has recently undergone a major renovation. Art lovers, this one's for you. Le Marais is also home to the Musée Picasso, which houses one of the largest collections of Picasso's works. Is the Musée Picasso worth visiting? Absolutely. Even if you're not a die-hard Picasso fan, the museum itself is located in a stunning 17th century mansion, and the collection gives you a deep insight into the artist's creative process. When visiting, take your time to wander through the various rooms, each showcasing different periods of Picasso's life and work. And don't miss the temporary exhibitions. They often feature works from other contemporary artists that complement Picasso's legacy. Now, let's shift gears to another historic area, the Latin Quarter. This area is famous for its bohemian vibe, thanks to its long association with artists, writers, and students. But here's a common question. What's the best way to explore the Latin Quarter? The answer is simple: on foot. The Latin Quarter is best experienced at a leisurely pace, allowing you to soak in its vibrant atmosphere. Start your journey at the Pantheon, where you can pay tribute to some of France's greatest figures like Voltaire, Rousseau, and Marie Curie. Then, wander down the narrow cobblestone streets, where you'll find quaint bookstores like Shakespeare and Company, a must-visit for any literature lover. And if you're feeling peckish, grab a crepe from one of the local street vendors as you head towards the Sorbonne, the heart of Paris's academic life. Speaking of crepes, did you know that Paris is home to some of the best street food in the world? What's the best street food to try in Paris? While the crepe is a classic, don't overlook falafel, especially in Le Marais. La du Falafel is legendary and worth the wait in line. Trust me, one bite and you'll understand why Parisians and tourists alike rave about it. Another must-try is the jambon beurre, a simple yet delicious sandwich made with ham and butter on a fresh baguette. It's a quintessential Parisian snack, perfect for a quick bite as you explore the city. And now, for that special hidden gem I promised you at the beginning of our journey. Welcome to Butte-Chaumont Park. Tucked away from the bustling city, this park is one of Paris's best-kept secrets, with its dramatic cliffs, waterfalls, and a temple with stunning views. It's the perfect place to escape the crowds and enjoy a peaceful afternoon. It's not just the sights that make Paris special, it's these quiet moments of discovery that make your visit unforgettable. So, when you're planning your Paris itinerary, be sure to add Butte-Chaumont to your list. It's a side of Paris that most tourists never get to see. As our journey through France comes to an end, it's clear that this country offers endless treasures, both well-known and hidden. But here's a final thought. What makes France such a captivating destination? For me, it's the blend of history, culture, and everyday life that makes every visit unique. Whether you're sipping wine at a Parisian cafe, exploring the grandeur of Versailles, or wandering through a charming village, France has a way of leaving an indelible mark on your heart. So, where will your French adventure take you? I'd love to hear about your favorite places or where you're planning to visit next. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed our journey, and subscribe for more travel inspiration. And if you know someone who's planning a trip to France, share this video with them. It might just help them discover something new.